Hi there. Today we're going to start a series on making tortillas. I have had a little bit of experience with it and I've never been super successful. So I'm going to go through a series where we do various recipes with various ingredients and techniques in order to try and make the perfect tortilla. So enjoy. Today's recipe is going to come out of a cookbook. We're going to use some standard ingredients here. Some of the variations we'll probably try will be substituting different quantities of fat. In this case today we'll use Crisco, different proportions of flour and other ingredients, as well as time. I have a theory that the gluten needs to rest in the flour in order to make good tortillas. Just like you would with bread. So, all right, let's see how it works. I have in the bowl here 2.5 cups of flour, half teaspoon of salt, one teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon baking powder, and a 1/3 cup of shortening. I am going to mix that by hand before I add any water. And when I said hand, I really meant with my hands. So the last step in the recipe is to add the water. This recipe calls for about a 1/3 cup of hot water. We'll see. I'm just going to mix that. As you can see, a 1/3 cup is just not quite enough. Now, using a dry measuring cup, it was probably a shade under, so I'm going to keep adding some water, just a little bit at a time, because a little bit is easy to overdo it, and I'll keep eating it until I'm happy with the consistency. I'd say altogether probably about 1/2 cup of water. This looks pretty good, pretty solid, like a bread would look. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is divide it up into balls and then let it rest until I'm ready to cook them on the griddle at dinner time, and then we'll have the taste test. So there you go. So last step is I'm going to roll these tortillas out and then put them on the comal and make them flat, and then we'll taste them and see how it goes. As you can see, I need a little work on making them round as well, so that'll be something else to explore as I keep on with this experiment. Here's a finished product, yielded about 10. I'll probably talk about tasting notes when I make the next video and what I'm going to change and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'd also like to make a few more than 10. Wasn't quite as many as I'd like to make, so scale up the recipe next time. All right.